you can probably you cannot enlarge it anymore, right? When you're big.
Yeah, because it is on the phone.
Oh, it's on the phone.
And I was searching how to enlarge it. So this is the
If you
maximum.
want, otherwise I can
Jai Gurudev.
I can add it. Oh, you enlarged it
Now
now.
it is
Yeah.
now it is better, right?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dr. Brahmra.
We are live on YouTube. We can start.
Okay.
Please unmute yourself, Dr. Savita. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. You have to unmute yourself, Dr. Savita.
Yes, we will start from verse number 55. I am audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so we'll start from the beginning, verse 55, or from where we left yesterday. We did the...
We didn't do Manana of that, so...
Okay. So from where shall we start then? From the beginning of the verse?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we start from the beginning, Dr. Savita. Unless everybody wants from there. It's fine.
Page number 329.
Yeah.
Okay. 324, 25. Yeah, this page. How come this way? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atman Yevatmana Tushta Sthita Pragyasta Dochyate. Shri Bhagavan, the Lord, Uvacha said, Partha, O Partha, Yada when, Sarvan, all, Manogatan, as they appear in the mind, Kaman, desires, Prajahati, gives up, Atmani, in oneself, Eva, alone, Atmana, with oneself, Tushta, one who is happy, Tada, then, Sthita Pragya, a person of a certain knowledge, Uchyate is said to be. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Partha yada sarvan manogatan kaman prajahati atmani eva atmana tushta tada sthita pragya uchyate. Shri Bhagavan said, when a person gives up all the desires as they appear in the mind, O Partha, happy in oneself, with oneself alone, that person is said to be one of a certain knowledge. The characteristics stated here and in the subsequent verses of the chapter are with reference to a person who has already attained this knowledge. Both the definition, lakshana of a wise person, sthita prajna, and the means for becoming wise, the sadhana, are discussed. Although Arjuna only wanted to know who is a sthita prajna, the sadhana is also taught because throughout the Shastra, the characteristic of a wise person are said to also be the means for preparing one's mind for the knowledge of the Atma. In his commentary, Shankara referred to a sthita prajna as one who is accomplished, one who has made it, a kritartha. The characteristic of one who has made it by gaining this knowledge becomes the sadhana, the means for gaining the knowledge. Thus, the wise person's spontaneous expression in life, the attitude and disposition with which he or she interacts with others, are the characteristics that establish the norms to be followed by the seekers of this wisdom. The definition is also the means. These characteristics are to be cultivated because they are the means by which the seeker becomes a wise person. Without these sadhanas, a person does not become wise. Thus, in the beginning, there is a sadhana, and then later, the sadhana becomes an expression. Sympathy, love, freedom, giving, and so on are all sadhanas in the beginning. They are means for self purification and maturity, eventually becoming the natural expression of the same person. It is not that the person tries to be sympathetic, loving, and giving. He or she is naturally sympathetic, loving, and giving. However, for the person who has not yet made it, he or she tries, for example, to give. This is necessary because, along with the giving thought, there is also the opposite thought in the form of a reluctance to give. In the mind of the person, the question, why should I give, still arises. If the ego is there telling me not to give, and then I am not a giving person. Thus, giving love, sympathy, consideration, and so on, all of which are the spontaneous expression of a wise person, becomes the sadhanas for the person who wants to be wise, the mumukshu. The sadhana itself is to be accomplished by effort, yatna. If you succeed in acquiring these characteristics, then you become firmly established in the knowledge. You gain jnana nishtha. What was accomplished with effort becomes the natural expression of the wise person. That is the rule. Therefore, all the universal values, being natural to the sthita prajna, are the sadhanas for a mumukshu. They become natural to the sthita prajna because they are natural expression of oneself. But in the beginning, the person deliberately cultivated them. To become wise, you have to follow them. Only then can you gain jnana nishtha. Thus, these values are both the qualifications and the qualities you need for the knowledge to take place, and in time they become very natural to you. The qualities represented by universal values are not like a boat that you use to cross the river and then leave behind once you have reached the other side. Even though these qualities are the means for preparing your antakarana for the knowledge, they become natural expressions because you continue to be a person with such a mind. You interact with the world as before, but now you interact spontaneously because these qualities have become natural to you. Thus, in the beginning, they are in the form of sadhanas, the means for accomplishing self knowledge, whereas later they are like ornaments, very natural, spontaneous expressions of the person. Bhagwan Krishna included both the definition of a wise person and the means for becoming wise in his response to Arjuna's request for a description of a sthita prajna, because they are one and the same thing. Shankara makes the point in his commentary introducing this verse. Krishna also indicated that giving up all desires, sarvan kaman, does not mean that the sthita prajna has no desires, but that as they arise in his mind, manogatan, he gives them up. Prajahati. That means the desires are not pursued. In this way, the wise person gives up all desires. Shall we do the manana or shall I continue further? So,
So if the desires come to this mind, but he um, gives up. So he doesn't act on the desire.
yes, the nature of the sense organ is to have, you'll have all the sensual, like all inputs would be there. The sense organs would be functioning. He'll be experiencing everything, and those desire. When we interact in the world, thus you see everything around, but they don't. The sense organs are functioning, but the desire to do something, he will have the desire, but that desire he will not cling to that. It is like the example which we read of that sugar crystal also. He has, he is complete in himself, so he's acting, just he's performing his actions like what he has to do at that particular time in accordance with the dharma. So he's in align with himself. The desires he'll be pursuing, but that desire will not be clinging to him. He'll be, what example we can give, like even if we can give example of rasgulla, like he'll take it. He'll have once, but it is not that he'll keep on having it again and again. That binding desire will be reading further, that he will not be having that binding desire, that craving to have more and more to satisfy his sense organs like this. So he will have desires, but he they will not he'll not be attached to those desires.
It's in this particular paragraph where they're talking about what the means to get there, right? So initially you talked about those four things like sympathy, giving, love, and and freedom, and so
Freedom,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, all the sadhanas in the beginning. So once that that means like allowing you to have that maturity, uh, purification and all that, then that antakarna shuddhi happens, then maybe that going on to this path.
Yeah, the like the sadhanas, the means of sadhanas which are giving, like Krishna has said that initially you have to do the yatna, effort you have to make it, so that it becomes your uh, natural expression later on. But initially you have to make effort for them with the help of the knowledge, and with all these practices like seva is one of the most important, what I feel, which helps you develop all these qualities very fast, the sympathy, love, giving. So in that way you will be purifying your antakarna, and when the antakarna is pure, then you don't have you have peace and harmony inside. Then you don't crave for the happiness which we usually that satiety is having from the outer world. You are happy and peaceful inside. So even the most whatever things, you have preferences in life, even if they're lying in front of you, you will not go after them. You have that fullness in you. So it will be it is important thing is that antakarna is purified with our practices. Then that peace and harmony which remains inside makes you full, and you are uh, doing all your uh, all your actions, taking them as your responsibility wherever it is required. Whatever work at that time you have to do, you are doing with that like the river you are flowing in a river, and though this side is one of the materialistic and other is the spiritual, and the both banks, you are touching both, but still you are flowing like that. Dr. Mara can say, or Dr. Pramra.
Yeah, you said it right. That's first we need to do those means, and then thus it becomes a nature to you, then becomes vice versa. Then they are getting that. Yeah, that's pretty much. But it takes a lot of effort to get there.
Yes, of course. It takes lives and lives,
Right.
like many lives. I sometimes wonder how much bad karmas must have been. Like, that layers we have. Initially, the atma is it is very pure, but that layers we have developed over us, and now to clean them, again that is happening. So it is a very tedious and very slow process. Yes, maybe for some it is fast, but normally we see, like, if I see myself, I was 40, 41 when this I came into art of living, and then now I am 58. So so many years have passed. Yes, but changes did happen, and they were very subtle, very slow. It was like step by step, but still more has to be done. So it's a very slow process, and most important is to you are briefing with this knowledge. This knowledge is the main, I think, that which is required, basically, what I feel. We were doing sadhana meditation initially also, but when you day to day are in this knowledge is very, it is very uplifting, and it is this knowledge which helps you to that that all things are happening, Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasnam, and how that evolving process is happening. So, being in knowledge is the best way of living life. Yes. Somebody else also, please share.
Basically, it is the Sthita Prajna is one who does things, who has non-binding desires, and he does things out of joy and not for joy.
Right.
Whereas all those that are still to become Sthita Prajnas, they will have to put in that little effort, because the lakshanas of Sthita Prajna are that he's fully blossomed in human values and they come very natural to him. Like, it is the nature of that person. He can't do otherwise. He's an expression of love, expression of joy. Whereas all those who are still bound by the limitations, bound by their mind, intellect, and ego, they will have to put an effort to adopt and cultivate these values. And one way of doing that is to do seva. Seva and doing things and keeping this in mind, being aware that we're not doing for joy, but out of joy.
Right.
And when we work with this, when we interact with the world with an attitude of a karma yogi, then slowly the initially binding desires will start becoming non-binding. Because no action is possible without a desire, even for a Sthita Prajna. But they are non-binding in nature.
Yeah, very right. All the non-binding binding desire will be slowly, they'll be converted to non-binding desires. So can we move
Hariom.
ahead? Yeah.
Hariom, I believe that for the food aspect, It is very, very important. It comes very slowly. For the rest of the things, relations and other things, we become aware. But for the food part, more of sadhana will help for becoming mitahari. Like yesterday only, I came to know the difference between ahar, then khana, and this how we have when we say that we are eating, it means the even those who are animals and other beings, they also eat. But when we think about saintly people, how they eat without any desire, without any that with to complete mindfulness. For I'm talking about myself only, because I love food, and it took very long time for me to come out of that. Becoming mitahari requires lot of sadhana. When the sadhana is there, then automatically you become aware that you require food not for you live only for food. No, you eat food for living. Yeah, only for food aspect. So that was my binding desire. I was always worried about what to cook, when to cook, how to, I mean, too much of on the food part. But slowly and slowly, now gradually, it is becoming, I'm letting go of things, and it is becoming natural now, that it's okay. Even if it is not there, it is okay.
Yeah, ahara is important, but what I feel is that it should be too much overcooking that way to making it more tempting for the taste buds. So in fact, we should be more focusing on the nutritive value, so that the body gets whole nutrition out of it, and it is easy to prepare. And though it is not so, it would be not so, but I think the taste bud changes over a period of time. What we liked initially, we don't like now. So that the taste changes, and they say it changes every 10 years. You have your taste, but the liking, it changes. So like for me, what I have noticed change in my eating, like I can't eat onions at all. And the raw onions, that smell also makes me I feel it very repulsive now. Though initially I was having, and but over a period of time, I have noticed that I don't like it now. Onions, I can't eat, and garlic still I take because of their nutritive value, and because it is as a healthy option, but not too much. But still I can take garlic, but not onions. So it happened over a period of time. I also noticed that. And I also like very simple food, not too much of masala, so that taste goes away of that particular thing. So this change happens, I think, as we move towards the sattvic part of our in a sattvic way we are moving. Then the taste also get that alteration is there in the taste also. This is what I felt.
Yeah, that craving has gone now. Like earlier, too much of craving for sweet things. And I mean, I'm a foodie, so those things have already gone. There is no more, even the sweets are there in front of me, no more craving, nothing like before. It used to be like very different, but over a period it has become so. That is also that awareness for food, which came very late. For relations, also, it is very like now we are aware that it is binding desire. We have to let go.
Yeah, it happens very gradually. The detachment, what is happening, is happening very gradually. It is happening in all the fields. What I am noticing is uh, in relations also, like especially we are more we are very particular regarding children and their things. But slowly, as we are growing, like for me, I feel that moha has lessened quite a lot. So initially, I was very particular for their things, but now, all of course they have grown, but still I don't. Uh, my mind is not occupied with their thoughts, or
Correct,
I'm
correct.
worried
Very
about.
true.
I'm not worried. I just say okay, they are fine, they are doing well, and some problem comes, then there's a solution, and then I leave. I never, that thought doesn't remain in the mind. So I feel more of free in myself, not anchoring here and there. That has started happening. So it is happening in all the field basically, and you're getting focused more and more on your spiritual this thing path, learning, doing, and planning your day as as your what your profession requires, and what I my soul requires. Basically, I am my whole day is planned this way, like doing what is required and then just leave, uh, getting the more of what my conscious, my soul, what does it require. So I plan it that way. What gives me solace. Yeah, please, everyone also can share.
How the Sthita Pratna eats that you are explaining?
Yes, it will come later on. Bhagwan Krishna will say we are just that binding and non-binding desires, we are just considering like how the binding desire becomes non-binding. You don't have, you are not attached to uh, whether it be eating or whether it be relations or whether it be materialistic things like a car or a house or various facilities in the house. There's no end to it, no. There's no end to any of these things. It all depends how in what depth you go inside in all these things. There is no limit to it. It all depends on yourself to make a boundary and stop yourself, like that we say no needful living. We have to be in that needful living. So when we live in that fashion of needful living, then automatically many desires, they will drop off. Can we move on? Or anyone wants to share, please go ahead. Okay. Can you be happy if you give up desires? Now the question may arise, if a man gives up all his desires, does that not mean that he will have no happiness, Ananda? We know that a man is happy only when he fulfills a desire. But here, he gives up all desires as they arise in his mind and at the same time continues to live. If all his desires disappear and he disappears with them, there is no problem. But if he gives up all desires and continues to exist in this world, it seems that he has no way of being happy. What recourse does he have except to become a high on drugs or a madman who is always laughing at nothing? In order to answer this question, we have to take two things into consideration. First, people are not happy, and secondly, people are always busy fulfilling their desires in order to be happy. They are always hopeful that happiness will come because they do become happy occasionally. Tomorrow will be better, they say. Everything will be wonderful when this is over. It seems, therefore, that people who pursue their desires are always working for happiness, whereas those who have given up all desires have no way of being happy. And no one can remain for a long period without being happy. So it is that quest going on that I shall buy this, I shall do this will make me happy, this will make me happy, like this. So Bhagwan corrected this train of thinking by saying that such a person is happy with himself or herself, Atmani eva Atmana tushta. In himself or herself, the wise person is happy. Everyone is happy in himself or herself anyway, but always because of something else. Here, without any external props or circumstances, without expecting or depending upon any condition whatsoever, the person is happy. The analogy of a sugar crystal is useful here. Simply by being a sugar crystal is sweet. It does not require a sweetening agent to be sweet because it is already saturated with sweetness. That is why it is a sugar crystal. Therefore, it cannot be sweetened further. Similarly, one who is happy, tushta, does not depend on any other object or situation to be happy. By one's own awakening to oneself alone, one is happy. Such a person is called sthita prajna. Example is
So
very.
here, if he gets the food with the garlic or onion, how will be he react? Or he doesn't react.
No, he will
So
not
food,
react.
right?
He
Yeah.
will not react because his
There's
his
nothing
likes
outside
and
any object or anything for him.
his
What he
dislikes have also disappeared. No, he is in that somehow. He'll be not opting for that, but if he gets to eat, suppose a food made of onions and garlic, he will have it. He
so
will not dislike
means
it.
means if there is a option, he will always select the sattvic food. But
Sattvic one. Yeah.
even if it is not there, he will not make a tantrum and he will be
Yes.
happy. Means
Yes.
if he want to eat, he will eat. Otherwise, he will leave it also. He will not have it. So it can
Yes.
happen like that, maybe.
Yes, because here we read no, without any external props or circumstances, without expecting or depending upon any condition whatsoever, the person is happy. Like his happiness is steady. Whatever is happening around him, it is not affecting him, and it is not basically it is not that he has some norms and he will stick to it and he will have fixed ideas, but it is according to the circumstances. He will be like adjusting according to his circumstances, though preferences would be there, but he will be steady and happy in himself. Tushta, one who is happy, does not depend on any other object or situation to be happy. By one's own awakening to oneself alone, one is happy. Such a person is called Sthita Prajna. Shankara explains here that Sthita means well established, and Prajna is that knowledge which is born of Viveka, the discriminative inquiry into and analysis of the Atma and Anatma. Therefore, the one for whom this knowledge is well established is called a Sthita Prajna or a Vidwan, a wise person. So, one virtue which is further added is that he has that discriminative mind to analyze the Atma and the Anatma. So, when he differentiates, then he is well established in himself. That Viveka guides him and he has that knowledge of the Atma and Anatma. Arjuna wants to know what the Sthita Prajna was, and this was Krishna's definition. It is an excellent and complete definition. A Sthita Prajna, Krishna said, is one who, being awake to the fact of the Atma, being happy for no other reason, gives up all desires that arise in his or her mind. So all definitions are included in this last sentence. Being awake to the fact of Atma, he has that discriminative analysis of Atma and Atma. Being happy without any reason, he's happy, he's full in himself. And third, he gives up all the desires that arise in his or her mind. The difference between binding and non-binding desires. Desires, kamas, are divided into two types, ragas and dveshas. Raga, dveshas being nothing but desire. The common word for both of them is kama. I want is kama. I want such and such can be either something you want to acquire or protect or something that you want to avoid or get rid of. Either way, it is a kama. I want. This want can be in the form of a raga or dvesha, depending on whether you want to acquire something or get rid of something. Raga dvesha are also of two types, binding and non-binding. Whenever the Shastra talks about kama in the form of raga or dvesha, it is referring only to those that are binding. When a person gives up all kamas as they arise in the mind, he or she does so for a reason. Otherwise, giving them up is not possible. That a man who gives up all the desires in his mind and who is happy in himself is called a wise man, sthita prajna, seems to mean that the first condition is a necessity for the second condition. Thus, in order to be happy with oneself, one has to give up all desires. How is that possible? Unless you are happy with yourself, how can you give up all desires? So, first condition and second condition is that when he is he gives up all desires in his mind, he is happy. And if we think otherwise, he is happy in himself, and then he has no desire in his mind. So they are two-way things. In the further example of that madman, it is explained. If in order to give up all desires, you have to be happy with yourself, and in order to be happy with yourself, oh, this, sorry, this was changed. 331. Sorry, it clicked and the page changed. Yeah. In order to answer this question, we read this. Yeah. In order to answer this question, we have to take two things into consideration. This was, no, sorry, this was not page, the 332 we were on. So sorry. All the thoughts got disturbed. Yeah, here. Raga dveshas are also of two types, binding and non-binding. Whenever the Shastra talks about kama in the form of raga or dvesha, it is referring only to those that are binding. When a person gives up all kamas as they arise in the mind, he or she does so for a reason. Otherwise, giving them up is not possible. That a man who gives up all the desires in his mind and who is happy in himself is called a wise man, Sthita Prajna, seems to mean that the first condition is a necessity for the second condition. Thus, in order to be happy with oneself, one has to give up all desires. How is that possible? Unless you are happy with yourself, how can you give up all desires? In order to If in order to give up all desires, you have to be happy with yourself, and in order to be happy with yourself, you have to give up all. You are in an unenviable. It is something like a unbalanced man who is advised that unless he marries, he will not be cured. In other words, the diagnosis and the treatment are one, because no father will give his daughter in marriage to a madman. He will not be able to marry, and unless he marries, he cannot be mentally well. We seem to have the same situation here. But do we? According to some modern translations, it may look that way, but not according to Shankara. So, can I move ahead or want to have Manana on this? Basically, where we will be talking only of the binding desires. Wherever the raga and dvesha will be referring, they'll be all about the binding desires. And it is the statement that the man who gives up all desires in his mind will be happy in himself, and we can also reverse it. If a man who is happy in himself will have not will have no desire in his mind. So it is the same thing. Non-binding desires are not the problem. First, Shankara created a problem by saying that a person who gives up all his desires is like a madman. Otherwise, how can he be happy? Then he said, a man who is happy in himself by his own awakening to himself does not need any desire to be fulfilled in order to be happy. What desires are being referred to here? Only those desires whose fulfillment is meant to make me happy, and not those that are non binding in nature for me. Non binding desires may include a desire to do, a desire to write, a desire to teach, a desire to give, a desire to just simply stay put, and so on. Non binding desires are not being considered here, only binding desires. If a wise person is one who gives up all desire, where does that leave Shankara, who wrote the commentary on giving up desires? Was he a wise man? Was Krishna, who taught Arjuna, a wise man? Was Vyasa, who wrote the Mahabharata, in which the Gita appears, a wise man? If only those who have given up all desires are wise, none of these men can be considered to have been wise. Krishna seemed to have a desire to teach. Krishna all but pounced on Arjuna. He did not even mind that he was in the midst of a battlefield. Krishna's knowledge seems to have been bottled up inside him, and it came pouring out for Arjuna's asking in one long continuous flow. Aside from his desire to teach, Krishna seemed to have some other desires too. For example, when he was asked to drive Arjuna's chariot, he agreed. Had Krishna given up every desire that arose in his mind, he could not have driven the chariot, but he did drive it. He also took up the flute and played a lot of songs. If this desire had been given up, all the gopis would be still waiting to hear his music, and he would be still sitting with his flute poised. He would not even had the desire to remove his hands from the flute. Since Krishna presented himself as one who performed various actions, and since doing presupposes desires, he could not have been a sthita prajna by his own definition. Vyasa also must have had a lot of desires to have written this great magnum opus, this huge work called the Mahabharata. To have kept on writing as he did, Vyasa must have had a very special mind indeed, and a lot of desires as well. People often have the desire to accomplish some enormous project or the other, but then after a while they give it up. They begin it but do not complete it. Not Vyasa. He began and finished every chapter. Thus, according to the definition, he could not have been a jnani. In fact, no teacher can be a jnani. Thus, they must all be ajnanis. If the desire is not there, a wise person cannot teach, which means that only the other wise can teach, but they have nothing to teach. Unfortunately, the explanation put forward in some modern commentaries of the Gita, based on incorrect translations, have created a lot of problems in understanding what is meant by giving up all desires. If this were not the case, there would be no misunderstanding, because what was said originally by Krishna is very clear. So the non-binding desires, they are, they have to be like they, otherwise we cannot live our lives. No, they have to be a desire. Non-binding desire, like Vyasa wrote Mahabharata, Shankara wrote the commentary, Shankara had the desire to spread that Sanatan Dharma. So all this would not have happened because there was the desire. So it is for the, basically for the evolution of the humankind, for the next generation. So all this work had been done by Krishna, Shankara, Vyasa, and this is the this is not for their selfish motive, basically. It's time 8:30, 26. Shall we stop or shall I read next paragraph? I think it is related to this, if we can say. When you are everything, what is there to be done? As Krishna told Arjuna in the 3rd chapter, a wise person is not bound by his or her desires and is not subject to any kind of mandate. Desires are only binding if you take yourself to be a karta, a doer. Only then do you have things to do. Only then can there be dereliction of duty. If, on the other hand, you do not look upon yourself as a karta and are awake to the knowledge of yourself, there is no question of the self being a doer. Therefore, there is no doership and nothing to be done. Lord Krishna told Arjuna that because he had no desires, he had nothing to do. Because Krishna is everything and everything is himself, what is there to be accomplished? Nevertheless, he was always active, meaning that all the activities he performed were non-binding. If activities, so one thing added here is additional is that a wise person does not have the consider himself to be a karta, a doer. Then only then do you have things to do. Only then can there be dereliction of duty. If on the other hand you do not look upon yourself as a karta and are awake to the knowledge of yourself, there is no question of the self being a doer. If activities are non-binding, the prompting factor of activity, kama, must also be non-binding. Here in the Gita, non-binding kama is not the topic. Only binding kama is discussed. And the placement of the words when, yada, and then tada in this verse is also significant. In this verse, it was mentioned no, that the position of yada and tada. I'm going to the verse. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan atmanye vatmana tushta sthita pragyas tadochyate. So tada came in the last and yada came in the beginning. So the word then comes later, and until it comes, the force of the word when continues. So the verse started with when, yada. So it means that when a man gives up all desires as they arise and being happy with himself, in himself, only then can he be called a sthita prajna. So the positioning of the word when and then is also so important in this verse. The force of when is the same for both condition, when he gives up all desires and when he is happy with himself, in himself, depending on nothing for his happiness. Therefore, one gives up all desires arising in one's mind that are binding in nature. The desires to be secure, to be happy, to be somebody, and so on. A person who is secure with himself or herself gives up such desires naturally. The word tushta in the verse does not merely means happiness, it implies security also. The insecure cannot be tushta, happy. Therefore, one who is secure is also happy. And giving up all desires is possible only when one is happy with oneself. Thus, the definition of Sthita Prajna is complete. What else can be said? One who is happy with oneself is a wise person who can totally accept himself or herself because the self is acceptable. The self is perfect, it is not imperfect. Perfection means that there is no sense of imperfection whatsoever. The self is free from any sense of imperfection, and the whole creation, the whole world, the universe is non separate from the self. Because the self is complete, Purna, it cannot be improved upon. Just as the sweetness of sugar cannot be improved upon, so too the fullness of the Atma cannot be improved upon. Being awake to that fact, the person is happy. So, in this paragraph, the person who totally accepts himself or herself because he is not, there's no imperfections there, he is complete in himself, he is Purna. And also one line was written that even the whole creation, the self is free from any sense of imperfection, and the whole creation, the whole world, the universe is non separate from the self. So that samatva bhav is also showing in this lines, like how when you are imperfect, you have no you are perfect in yourself, Purna, and you don't have that sense of imperfection, that lackness, then the world uh, around you, you also feel it, or you see in that way that it is, you know, that feeling of samatva bhav, not separate from others. So for developing that samatva bhav, I think first of all we have to be complete, feel complete within ourselves. Then we can develop that samatva bhav. We'll be in that samatva bhav rather. Once we overcome our own that feeling of imperfections, like we are discussing, no, that we lack this, we have to improve upon this. So there is, we are finding imperfections in ourselves. So until then, these imperfections which are staying with us, until then they are not uh, covered up, or they are not looked into, we will not have the samatva bhav for the outer world. So that is why they say that don't go out to improve others, improve upon yourself, work upon yourself to increase your own sattva, so that the surroundings will definitely, uh, uh, they are all one. So it's a long journey. We can stop here. I think only, yeah, we can read this tomorrow.
Regarding improving ourselves, what Gurudev says, in fact, the meditation that we're doing, acceptance, he says there is nothing to improve actually, because we are we are fullness, we
Okay.
are all the virtues bundled up. All the so called negativities that are there are just temporary. What is permanent, what is real, is that you are full of these human values. And that he says so beautifully, he says they are only guests, they stay for some time and they leave. So it is just about building up awareness. There
Yeah.
is nothing to improve upon. In the sense, when you say improve, it means you are not perfect and therefore you need to perfect yourself, or you're not, uh, um, you're coming from the space of lack. You're coming, but whereas the truth is, you are abundant, you are secure, you're full. So it is only a question of removing this veil of ignorance. And that comes with awareness, that comes with knowledge, that comes with. So I think that part we will have to be a little um, sensitive to. Otherwise, we'll end up becoming, blaming ourselves. Oh, I am weak, or I am a bad person. You are not. That thing is the outer ring that apparently appears as though you are bad is only because of your unawareness. Once you start becoming aware, then that automatically that dark cloud just disappears, vanishes.
Yeah, we read initial verse also, no, somewhere that that self affliction, like something was there that we start, you know, we start thinking in that way, ki why this is happening to me, that self affliction feeling we have, why this is happening to me, why this is because of my karma. So you have to come out of that also, like it is you are blaming yourself basically, no? It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
So it's only a matter of acceptance and being aware.
Hariom Savitaji, which page is it? Kindly let me know.
This is page number 334.
Okay,
We
thank
finished
you. Dhanyavad.
when you are everything, what is there to be done? This is the last topic. 334.
Jai Gurudev, that means we should constantly identify with our inner self, not with that outer body.
Yes.
That
That is why they say we should sit with ourselves in whole day for few, uh, for some time, like, and that is through meditation that we sit with ourselves. So it should be at least done twice a day, morning, evening, and
yeah.
helps a lot. Yeah.
That is the prajna aspect of the sthita prajna. That discrimination between the atma and the anatma.
Whenever you feel lag, you just think about the sugar crystal. It is full. It is full of sweet in itself. So we are just like a sugar crystal, full. No lackness we have. And then that gives you a very expansive feeling. You feel very light and expanded. So shall we close here? 8:40 it is now. Or someone wants to share something?
We'll close. You can chant the Shanti part and you can share the meditation, please.
Okay. I've like from Sattva, the small meditations only, no? Like I have the Sattva app, not that I could not do it the on the mail you send, no? I was not able to uh, like assess them. Maybe I'll try today. So if it is like possible for you to share a meditation, then you can. Otherwise, it will take some time to share, or I'll just try. Okay. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय गुरुदेव though may I have
कविता जी, I can play the YouTube ब्रह्मराजी का जो है meditation.
I'm sharing it. I'm sharing.
Okay.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here will lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the efforts. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.